Crabman from Crabman Gaming here, and today I am going through my top 10 most valuable PlayStation 4 games, turning this into a series of most valuable, least valuable, and unique 10 games for the PlayStation 4, 3, 2, 1, and Vita. Now, the pricing for these games comes from pricecharting.com and is for the Australian PAL region. So please take the pricing with a pinch of salt. I did not cross-check everything with eBay, as I do own 377 physical PlayStation 4 games. I did a video a couple of years ago on my PS4 games. I'll try and link that up the top. Now in front of you is my PlayStation 4 Pro. I had an original PS4 from launch day back in 2013 and then upgraded to the Pro just before getting my PS5, so it has done me well capturing lots of the footage for this video. Number 10 is Stardew Valley, coming in with a value of 55 Australian dollars, 37 US dollars, and 29 British pounds. I got this game on PS4, played it for about 10 minutes, didn't really like it very much, and then later played it on the Switch, and then came back to it again on the PS4. But here is the PS4 Collector's Edition. Not easy to come by, and I don't think it has an Australian release, so we've got the kind of European rating system on there. And if we open up, let's check out the game disc. So there's the disc for you to have a look at as well. And with the collector's edition, you do get this pretty awesome map, which I used to have displayed up in my game room. Just show everyone this pretty wicked map. Not too many games come with maps. And you also receive the Stardew Valley soundtrack for anybody still with a CD. Let's get that out to have a little look. Looks very similar to the game disc. Might put that on a little bit later. And then there's a cool mini guidebook to have a look at as well. So check out the pricing of this online. It might be cheaper in your region. And this has been an absolutely amazing game. Comment down below if you have played Stardew Valley, one of my favorite games to have a little bit of a relax to as well. Let's pop through some basic skills: farming, mining, foraging, combat, and fishing. And you can see some footage as well to your right. Good seasonal crops. It was found there was like one that was very hard to grow. Combat as well, you need to get deep into the mines. I did play this game an awful lot. There's foraging and some basic tips as well. Great idea for Stardew Valley. Number 9 on my list is Journey, coming in at 56 Australian dollars, 38 US dollars, and 29 British pounds. What can I say about Journey? An absolutely incredible game, only 2 hours long, but an unforgettable experience. Play through it in one single go because it is absolutely amazing. I think I originally had this as a digital download, and then when I found this collector's edition, I wanted to add this to my collection as well. And if you do get this collection, not only do you get Journey, but you get Flower, which was one of the first games I played on the PS4, and Flow as well. So you get 3 games in this collection. Let's open it up and see what you get inside. Really, it's just the disc, but you'll be able to see what the disc looks like with Flow, Journey, and Flower on there as well. Not a cheap game to come by at the moment, so you can check out Flow, which you are this organism going deeper and deeper down. Journey, where you're this unknown character trying to get to the mountaintop, and Flower, which really felt like a PlayStation 4 technical demo as well, to show off just some of the awesome new graphics. I remember being really amazed by how awesome Flower looked, and also FIFA 14 when I first played that as well. Number 8 is The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 4, coming in at a value of 56 Australian dollars, 38 US dollars, and 29 British pounds. The fourth game in the Trails of Cold Steel series. Sometimes I call it Trials of Cold Steel. I get them a little bit mixed up. And I have played the first game in this series on the PS Vita, but I haven't yet played 2 or 3 or 4. I actually don't own 2, but I own 1 and 3 and 4, so I do need to pick up 2 sometime, as 1 and 2 were on the PS3 and the Vita originally. Now, you may notice something strange about this cover, and that is because I have flipped the cover. What I like about alternate covers is it looks really cool, but I don't like when the back isn't the same. So I'm going to flip it over now. Now this is the cover you are probably more familiar with seeing. An absolutely incredible series which goes for a long time indeed. We are still following the same characters along, and you can see I got my bonus for playing through the first game, which I did actually finish on the PS4. So you actually get, in this edition, you get a CD. Lots of these games come with CDs. So we get the Echoes of Erebonia little album, which you obviously can. You can't really play CDs in your PS4, which is a little bit strange. You can in the PS3. We've got our game disc, looking very good. And then also, there's a couple of bonuses here as well. So we've got The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 4. I always want to call it Trials, the Black Records. We've got The Legend of Heroes Trials of Cold Steel 4, the Black Records. It's cool that you get a little bit of a book there as well. We'll go through the characters. I'll try not to put any spoilers, but Reen Schwarzer, who's been there since the first game. And looks like we've got some characters returning and some new characters in the game as well, which makes sense considering it is the fourth game in the series. But I'll show you some of the book, which you don't get if you just buy this game digitally. So I do like trying to pick up physical editions where I can, and I do mean to play 2 as soon as I can. 2 is a really hard game to get because it's just digital only, unless you pick it up on the Vita or the PS3, and then it's hard to convert all your data over. And then also on the Vita version, there's no speeding up of the battle, so it does make the game really long. So I hope you enjoyed having a look at Trials of Cold Steel 4. Number 7 is Far Lap Horse Racing Challenge, which I can only assume is an Australian or region exclusive. And this game is currently valued at 59 Australian dollars, 40 US dollars, and 31 Great British pounds. I'm not sure you have a local copy in the US, but a very unique game. We used to get Australian exclusive games, things like AFL and V8 Supercars, but we haven't had a lot of Australian exclusives lately. So Far Lap was a very famous Australian horse, I believe in the 1930s, and just won so many races and dominated. So the legend of Far Lap is very strong in Australian culture. So Far Lap, the ride of your life. Experience the thrill and thunder of racing with the pride and prestige of building your own stable of champions. Make history and build a brighter future in Far Lap Horse Racing Challenge. Cinematic graphics showcase realistic horses and capture the action of the race with motion captured animations. Online racing. I'm not sure how many people are online. Breed champion horses with the in-depth genetic breeding system, and place bets alongside your mates and watch the race play out in real time, up to 8 players. Now, gee, betting digitally doesn't sound super exciting, so let's check out what's inside. We've got the Far Lap disc. Looks very similar to the cover, and I do try and put receipts in my games, as you can see. 5 entire dollary-doos for Far Lap Horse Racing Challenge. I did think this game would become a little bit hard to find. We have a cool Far Lap book as well. Gee, it's a big book, 26 pages. I'll try and skim through, but this is probably the only version of the Far Lap book that is put online, so you can have a little skim through the Far Lap book, How to Race. I probably should have read this first, as you're watching the footage. I did not do particularly well and got dominated towards the end. Distance ability, I mean, I'm not really into horse racing. You might be into horse racing, but not something I'm super into. You get a little bit of a story going, if that's your thing. If one of the other 1,000 games on PS4 doesn't take your attention, maybe Far Lap is for you. Selling a stud, get a breeding stall, a horse stall, choose a location, hire some jockeys. So maybe there's an in-depth story mode. I don't know if anyone else has played this to put this online. Honestly, I am not super keen, but a cool thing to own as an Australian as well. So there was the book. Here's the case one more, and I got one last thing to show you before we move on. I also own this game on the Xbox One, and I also own this game on the Switch, and all 3 versions are quite valuable, so you may see them on a future list. Number 6 is Death End Request, which is valued at 61 Australian dollars, 41 US dollars, and 32 British pounds. Now this is a dungeon crawler RPG, and from the little small amount I've played of this game, very, very brutal indeed. I am very shocked this has just an MA rating, as the first part I played of this game was absolutely brutal. I did have to edit some parts out as well, but let's check out the physical copy. Trapped between reality and the virtual world, what really happens when it's game over? Shift battles from turn-based to fighters, shooters, and more. Crack the code to unlock skills. Log out to uncover mysteries in the real world. This also has a sequel, which I believe this game and the sequel are both currently on PS Plus if you do want to check them out. But physical copies are quite few and far between. You just get a little bit of inside artwork here, which is similar to the back cover, and it looks like there is a reversible cover, which I will show you at the end. We have a game disc here, always a bit tricky to get out. Get a nice good close-up. Alright, let's check out our alternate cover. Here is the alternate cover for Death End Request, and unlike Trials of Cold Steel, it actually has a proper back cover as well. So I think if companies are reversing their covers with reversible artwork, you do need to have a proper front and a proper back. Now, I may have flipped this cover when I got the game because I like to display the alternate covers. So if you have played Death End Request, comment below and let me know if I should play it. Number 5 is the Talos Principle Deluxe Edition, which is valued at $61, 41 US dollars, and 32 Great British pounds. Quite a lot of games very similar in price here for the PS4. Now, when I originally began these videos, the Talos Principle wasn't on my original list, and with the updated pricing, it shot up to number 5 on my list. Now, I believe that's due to the Talos Principle 2 just being released, which is why you can see games fluctuating in price. You might see games on my list that are no longer in my top 10 if I looked it up today. And I just did the pricing for the regular edition as well. So maybe the deluxe edition could be worth a little bit more money. Now, this is a puzzle game. It is not one I've managed to get around to, but if you have played it, let me know how you've gone with the game. So here is the game disc. I'm sure this cat has a big part to play in the game, but I haven't played it. And let's check out how much I paid for this game that I haven't played. So here is my faded receipt for the Talos Principle. I did seem to buy it back here in 2018 in December for $23. It's faded off, but I bought it with Natural Doctrine at the same time, $42 total. So if it is pretty awesome, let me know below if I should give it a go. And if you've played 2, is that one good as well? Number 4 is The Witcher 3 expansion pack, Hearts of Stone, valued at $62, 41 US dollars and 32 British pounds. This one is a little bit of a cheat because you do need the Witcher original game to play it, which I have, and I did buy the expansion pack as well at the time. Now, I played The Witcher probably for about 10 to 15 hours on a couple of occasions. I never really got to the end or this expansion pack, but what's cool about this expansion pack is that it does come with a couple of playing packs of Gwent. So if you're really into Gwent, then this is the expansion pack for you, and probably why it's held its value. Now, little spoiler, I've never opened the Gwent cards, never really got into Gwent in the game, tried to get into The Witcher because I am a really big fan of RPGs and JRPGs and anything RPG, and I thought The Witcher 3 would be the game for me, and I tried really hard to get into it twice, didn't quite manage it. So this is your download card. I'm just gonna cover up the voucher code there, but some people are saying this expansion is almost bigger than a lot of regular games as well. But what's really cool is you do get this Gwent game guide. So I have just put footage in from the original Witcher because I haven't quite got to this expansion pack, and I'm going to save my voucher as it doesn't expire until 2038. So I'm sure it'll be 2038 before we know it. And normally I do like card games within games, so things like Triple Triad in Final Fantasy. There was Queen's Blood in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And this is where it gets pretty exciting. So we've got our Gwent cards here still sealed. Maybe this could make this worth a little bit more money if these Gwent cards haven't been opened. But you get to have a little look at them here as well. I'm sure, like most collectors, they have a vast range of things that they have collected that haven't been played. So you've got your little card deck and things too. Oh, I've lost it. I've lost a greenie. It must be in there somewhere. Oh, there it is. Don't want to lose any bits here. So if you've played The Witcher 3 and you've played Gwent, you'll know what this is all about. So anyway, cool for everyone to have a little look at. It's cool to have a look at some of the physical things that you can collect, because we are moving into an ever more digital environment, and it's nice for people to have a little look. So a little cheat, but I wanted to include that because this pack was pretty special as well. We'll slide it back in its case. No wonder if they're going to release The Witcher 4 anytime soon. Number 3 is Fate Extella, the Umbral Star, coming in at 66 Australian dollars, 45 US dollars and 35 British pounds, part of the Fate series. Now, an interesting part about this game, I'll tell you in just a moment, but it says, virtually unstoppable. Command a huge roster of heroes in a battle to dominate a virtual world within a crystalline supercomputer. Choose your faction and conquer territories inside the Seraph program. Team up with 3 headstrong heroines and their loyal allies as they engage in explosive overclock combat using legendary abilities and devastating all-new Mooncrux transformations. This world and the destiny of your servants is in your hands. So I really like the artwork of this game as well. And you may notice this doesn't have the usual Australian rating system on there, and that is because I bought this game overseas. This game did not have an Australian physical release, to my knowledge. So I did buy this game right here. This is pretty interesting. Gamers Hideout Mid-Valley Outlet in Kuala Lumpur. So when I was in Kuala Lumpur, I managed to head over to this game store and picked up, as you can see here, it was even pre-owned, Fade Extella, the Umbral Star, 169 Malaysian ringgit. So the exchange rate is about 3 to 1, so you get 3 ringgit per Australian dollar. So this game did cost me close to 60 Australian dollars for a pre-owned copy, and there's a little bonus on the other side as well. You can see Virtue's last reward for the PS Vita, so 60 ringgit, which is about 20 Australian dollars, so I spent about $80 in total. Number 2 is Gravity Rush Remastered, coming in at 97 Australian dollars, 65 US dollars, and 51 Great British pounds. Now, like most people, I originally played this game on the Vita. I think it was on PS Plus, so I don't have a physical copy of the game, but this version is really hard to find, this green cover PAL version. I believe the North American version is a lot cheaper, so people watching from the US, you are able to pick up the kind of, I think it's like a white cover, the same as Japan. So here's our back cover. Fall into a gravity-defying adventure. You've got Cat there as your protagonist with a mysterious cat at your side. Harness the incredible power of gravity and save a world under siege from strange forces. Manipulate gravity with a DualShock 4 motion sensor. Explore a huge open world filled with secrets. Enjoy extra missions and costumes with all the DLC from the PS Vita edition. I did play this on the Vita, not too much here on the PS4, but a very highly sought after game. Let's do the disc first. Always a bit hard to get out these discs. So sometimes the disc looks like the front cover, sometimes it's a little bit different. And then just a little instruction of the game and some reasons to join PS Plus. So let me know down below if you've played Gravity Rush on the PS4. And number 1 is Fallout 4 Pip-Boy Edition, coming in at a whopping 290 Australian dollars, 196 US dollars, and 153 Great British pounds. But I'm gonna disqualify it as a special edition, because if I had special editions in, that would take up all of my top 10. So it's a special number 1 that's not quite a number 1. And I'm going to show you all the things that I got with the Fallout 4 Pip-Boy edition. And then I do have a number 1 yet to come. So you did get this cool steelbook version of the game. Now, regular base Fallout 4 goes for next to no money, $5. I think the price has gone up with the Fallout TV show. So here's my Fallout disc. I mean, that looks the same as the regular copy. I'll go through my receipt in a moment. You do get lots of cool things here in the Pip-Boy edition. So you get a Vault Survival Guide, you get the Season Pass, which did come later. That was coming out. That was quite expensive. I think it was $60 or $70 Australian, the Season Pass for Fallout 4. You get this massive poster, which is pretty awesome. It's actually really big. It's hard to show you the entire poster, but that's pretty cool in there as well. And this was not cheap. This Pip-Boy edition sold out within a day. So you've got a life-size Pip-Boy, which is coming in just a moment. So I was all in for the Vault Dwellers Orientation Pack. That was $128 as well. I'll show you some things I got in the Orientation Pack, which was a hoodie and a lunchbox and some other cool things as well. But I'm trying to find my main receipt. Here it is. Without chopping my name off, I believe here it is. That was $140 Pip-Boy edition, but I'd also paid $50 for the pre-order as well, so $189 plus $128 for the pre-order, so I definitely went all in on Fallout. I also got this really cool lunchbox. I'm actually storing a couple of things in there. That's pretty wicked. There's this like really cool hoodie with 111 on the back for Vault 111. Now sadly for this hoodie it's only a large, and I am quite a large man, so it doesn't quite fit me, but cool to have. In the orientation kit you got the backpack as well, Vault 111. I've used this backpack for a little while. There is Mr. Bobblehead, which you do collect these throughout the game, so that's pretty cool. A Nuka-Cola shot glass as well, so let's get this open. There you go, Nuka-Cola. Cheers. You also get a Nuka-Cola shot glass as well. Now let's get out of here. Let's open it up and have a look. Cheers. All right, Sturgis. Fire it up. And here is what it was all about, the Pip-Boy itself. This box is absolutely huge. Now these sold out in just one day, so still quite collectible today. You get your absolute own version of a Pip-Boy. Now I used to have an iPhone 6 which you could slot in and it would work beautifully, so really you get in here, it's just a big phone case, but you get a stand to put your Pip-Boy on. Try and show you inside. It's really just a nice foam container in a wicked case, and you can place it on the stand if you want to have it out and set it up like this, which is pretty funky, or you can show you some of the features. Now what's pretty cool is it actually does still work and it still lights up after all this time, like some of these work as well. You can turn stuff, but what was really cool, if you did wear this during the game, and this latch is pretty big, and you can, there's a little wrist strap in there, I'm not going to put that on properly, but you can attach it to your wrist and you could have it synced up to the game. Now I haven't tightened the wrist straps, so it's a little bit loose, but you could have it on in the game and you could be playing the game and administer stim packs to yourself and have the Pip-Boy menu open at all times. So it actually made the game a little bit harder because enemies would be firing at you and you'd be like, stim pack, you'd be looking at this screen and you'd be getting attacked on the main screen. But a really cool piece of a really cool accessory that you can have alongside Fallout 4. So I don't know how many of these they actually made, but they did sell out very, very quickly, and they are very collectible still to this day online. And my number one most valuable PlayStation 4 game, coming in at number one, is the Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight, Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight, Endless Night Collection. Now, this game is valued at $115 Australian, $78 US, and 60 British pounds. When I was having a little research in the US, this game looks like it is a lot cheaper. So if you do want this and you're in America, pick it up or import yours from America. But in Australia, this Australian version is still quite pricey. Now, this game was very, very expensive upon release. 169 Australian dollars I parted with for this game, but you do get this cool art book and you do get Persona 4 Dancing All Night as a downloadable game as well. So you do get these two. You get your DLC, which is your Endless Night Collection. So you get the Persona 4 Dancing All Night digital download and a couple of add-ons as well. Hey, Akechi. Oh, that's really just nothing. That's just on its own. This is my receipt. As you can see, I'm not kidding, it was $169. Very, very expensive indeed. Let's check out the art book. So this is the coolest thing from the game. Actually, let's check out the discs. You get the 2 discs kind of stacked on top of each other. So there's the Persona 5 disc and the Persona 3 disc there. Now they did sell these games separately, but they were $100 each at release, and they did discount eventually, but you could buy them. But you didn't get Persona 4 as well with it. So there's a Persona 3 protagonist. I'll just move that out of the way. So if you've played Persona 3, the Reload has just come out. I played it the year before Reload came out, so I was a little bit annoyed. So I don't really want to play through it again, as I put over 60 hours into the game. There's Yukari and Junpei. Where's Ken? Akihiko, Mitsuri, Ken, Fuka. Get Elizabeth, prominent in a lot of the Persona games. And then the Persona 5 art book there. I believe, is the Persona 5 protagonist Ren? It might be Ren. Morgana, they have canon names as well. Morgana got a bit of a mixed response. Ryuji, and a lot of people's favorites, or An, as they pronounce it. Yusuke, Makoto. I absolutely love Persona 5 as well, one of my absolute favorite games. Futaba, Haru, Caroline and Justine. Just trying to give you a good shot here of the art book. And credits. So, that is the end of the video as well. Let's check out the back of the Persona All Night Collection. Dance the night away, test your rhythm gameplay skills with the ultimate Persona Dancing Bundle, including 3 games, Persona 3, 5 and 4, in weird order. Incredible soundtrack, customized rhythm gameplay, social and dual audio voiceovers. So that is the end of the video of my top 10 most valuable PS4 games. If you have a valuable PS4 game, pop it in the comments below. If you haven't liked the video, do so now. And if you subscribe, you are absolutely awesome. Heaps to check out on the channel as well. Now, this is going to become a series of most valuable, least valuable, and unique top 10 games in my collection. So stay tuned, and until next time, see you later.